Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, everyone. We are on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube. And it's my second time with you today. I know. Today it's our 10-minute power powwow, and we are leaning all the way in. Just want to say hello to everyone who has been with me all morning long because we are pouring in power as you pour back into me. Today we have a great topic, okay, for these 10 minutes. And it came right out of my Facebook group, Coaching Cocktails and Conversations. If you are not already in that group, come on over. Today's topic is moving when fear is before you. How do you move when there's fear that is standing before you? And that is what we're going to talk about today, right? Because I want to give you a little bit of thoughts around coaching, cocktails, and conversations. But before we get into all of that, let's get into some of this. Share out, and let's get into it. It's a 10-minute power powwow hosted by Lolita E. Walker. Come on into the room and grab a little bit of coaching, cocktails, and conversations. Yes, coaching is where I leave you with a couple nuggets just to challenge your thinking. Cocktails is where I celebrate the greatness of who you are when you show up right here. And in conversations is what we are about to do for the next 10 minutes. Grab a friend, share it out because it's about to go down. Are you ready for a little bit of motivation? Are you ready to increase your clarity, increase your confidence, and then walk with a new type of commitment? You are in the right place. Come on in. This is Lolita E. Walker of lolitawalker.com. Let's go. Yes, good morning, and good morning. I am so excited to see you. Hey, Andrea, good to see you. Good morning to you again. Yes, listen, today's topic came right out of my Facebook group, and I love it. It is about moving when fear is before you. Moving when fear is before you. How many of us have been facing fear head on? Facing fear head on, or even not even recognizing that it was fear that was standing right before us. I had a client the other day who we did this voice dialogue. I like to call it soul work, but it was soul work really around shaping what the fear is and acknowledging it. So, one of the things I want to gift you guys today is this notion of addressing what the fear is. What is it? Let's name it. Let's humanize it because when we engage in that type of juicy discussion, sometimes things are revealed to us and we're able to then shake it and say, well, hold on, wait a minute. Is that what you're saying to me? And leap out of that way. I want to share with you something that I didn't really recognize was fear, but can absolutely lean into that today. So I'd love to have your comments wherever it is you are coming in with as I share this. And you know, we're only here for 10 minutes. I'm going to pop in the Facebook group immediately following for a couple moments before I truly get my day going and going with you all. On Thursdays, coaching cocktails and conversations starts really early. It starts at 7 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I go live with a live audience on Clubhouse. And I've been doing that for quite some time now. Honestly, I've been chatting on that platform for almost 2 years. Can you believe it? I know when you say it out loud, it feels like forever and 50 days. But there's this amazing community, which is what I talked about earlier. If you were with me when I streamed earlier this morning, I talked about this notion of community and how powerful that is. But the story that I want to share with you all today is around fear. And I will say it is fear. Sometimes we got to say, well, is that what it is? I think it is. Let me tell you about it and you tell me if you think it was fear. But I agree that this absolutely happens in our lives every day. But when we pause, we take a step back, we will recognize that the answers are right here. And if we don't know what they are, then what are we going to do? We're going to ask somebody about it, right? That's what I would say as well. All right, let me get into the story. So an amazing guy, Justin Conoco. Now I've talked about him twice today, so I absolutely have to call him and let him know that I did. But he does a segment every Friday. He talks to us. I think it's at 5:00. 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And he really leans into content creation and he leans into real estate and all of these amazing things that he bridges together. But really, he talks about building his community. And he had this goal of increasing his subscribers on his YouTube channel. And therefore, he goes live on his YouTube channel for about a half an hour before he brings it on back to the live audience. I was going to say live studio audience, but we project. So live studio audience because it's coming soon. Absolutely. So as he's doing that every single week, I say to myself, Lolita, you've really got to talk to Justin about how to do this because you give some amazing content each and every day. And you aren't really capitalizing on leaning in so that all of your community can also uh, be privy to this information. So months, you all, months, I have been really saying I got to get in touch with Justin. Now, why did I think I couldn't do it? This is when I want to talk about fear, right? I didn't really think it was fear first, but it was fear of the technology because what was keeping me stagnant was actually that I thought that I had to have all of these pieces to the puzzle. I thought I had to plug in here, get a roadcaster here, do all of the things in order to ensure that I was going to be successful at going live. Right. I was fearful that I didn't have everything in place to be able to do this thing that I wanted to do. And I was leaning on Justin now to be my crutch or my excuse as to why I wasn't getting it done because he was the guy that I was going to call on. Forget about the fact that I could probably YouTube it. Forget about the fact that I could probably do a number of things and ask a number of people. So what did I do? After months, honestly, I leaned in and I left Justin a message. I'm like, hey, guess what? I've been trying to do this for months and I really want to talk to you because I'm finding myself procrastinating, but it is a gap that I see in why am I not leveraging it? Talking about fear and talking about facing it head on. One is to acknowledge it, right? And then to give it a name. And the name that I had given this thing is procrastination for technology. Absolutely. Hey, PFT, procrastination for technology. What is happening right here? So as I'm leaving him this message, I'm like, hey, Justin, I don't know. What are you hooking up in order to do this? Do I have to buy an external piece of equipment? And as I'm talking, I'm like, huh, there was discovery that was happening. And I said, well, wait a minute. I already have StreamYard. I'm already going live to my community all the time, actually, at least 3 times a week, right? I'm doing it with you now. I already have my phone and I'm already on Clubhouse, which I can talk to. Yeah, I can do that. And as I'm talking to him, I'm recognizing it. And today I walked into fear, that fear of technology, because what I realized and recognized, I was putting the two together. What I recognized was that guess what? I actually had it inside of me. And if I really thought, move that fear out of the way, like, hold on, wait a minute, let's scoot you over and let me walk into it. Or let's have this dialogue, which I was able to say aloud as I left Justin a message. I said, you know what? Wait a minute. They only need to see me. Then I need to give them the link. I have the availability to do that. And then the other thing is, if my goal is to increase YouTube subscribers or any other platform of my communities, I can just add that link in. They can see me live, they can comment. And then I also have my phone and I can be talking to the Clubhouse community live while I'm doing this. Oh my goodness. It was a revelation that happened. And then what is going to hold me back now? There are no more excuses. I'm going to lean into it. So, what am I sharing with you today? I am sharing with you today to lean into your fear. But how do you do that? The question was, how do you move when fear is standing before you? When you acknowledge what the fear is. What's holding you back? What's the barrier? Is there fear surrounding that? And then what needs to be true for you to move into it? And I would also say and give you a consideration for is to really talk aloud. Because sometimes as we start to express ourselves, we start to recognize that all of these things that felt like chaos inside of us, it really wasn't. We can just pull a little string, and guess what? Everything unravels to help us become more clear into where we're walking to. Give your fear a name, acknowledge it, have a dialogue aloud, and watch what happens. That fear oftentimes will begin to shrink. And how is that done? It's because you give life to the recognition of what this fear is saying to you, these limiting beliefs, these things that are playing inside of your mind, right? You give a life to that, and now you give breath to the dialogue. And what oftentimes happens is you'll recognize that the fear was really a limiting belief, and you have the answers for it, or you have somebody in your community who can help you get the help that you need in order to bring it to life. This is our 10 minutes today. I hope it was super helpful wherever you are in your life, wherever you are in your journey. I would love for you to absolutely tap into coaching, cocktails, and conversations because I think it's amazing. I love what the community is doing for me doing for the community, and then what the community is absolutely doing for me. So there you have our 10 minutes, and I'm headed over to our Facebook, but not before. Wait 1 second. I got something for you all. And that concludes our 10 minutes of pure power. Thank you so much for showing up today for your 10-minute power powwow. Now, whether you were live and added in, whether you were sitting on a corner and just doing a little bit of thinking, whether you are watching the replay, I want to say hello to you and invite you to come right on back. Did you miss it? Well, go ahead and shoot it out to a friend while both of you guys taking all of the action. So what is next? Head on over to lolitawalker.com/coaching cocktails conversations, because what's in it for you? Yes, it's a podcast. Yes, it's a group coaching program. Are you a part of it? Yes, it is a retreat. Are you already signed up to make sure you're pulling out that power? Yes, it's one-on-one coaching. Yes, it's a journal. Yes, coaching cocktails and conversations is a movement. So grab this 10 minutes and let's do something with it. I will see you later. But head on over, lolitawalker.com. This should not be the first time, but even if it is, make sure it's not the last. See you soon.